Morning Year 3, it's Miss Court here. So I thought what would help was if I gave you a little explanation as to doing some addition with bigger numbers. In Maths Lesson 4 this week, you are going to have to add 2 and 3 digit numbers together. Now this can be really hard to do in your head or do in a linear method, which is going across the page. So I thought what might be easier is if I showed you a method called column addition. So let's start with a simple one. Now it's important that when you're doing this to have a little piece of paper next to you and a pen or a pencil so you can do your workings out. When you're doing it online, you can type the answer, but it's really tricky to do workings out. So I suggest with any maths work that if you want to do it on the computer on our Google Classroom, then just have a little piece of paper next to you to help you with your workings out. Okay, right, so let's try the first one, number 1. The first question that I'm going to show you is just an example. It's not one of the questions on your piece of work. So let's choose 2 numbers, 34 and 15. I want to add these 2 numbers together, so I'm going to put my add sign here in this box. Can you just notice, first of all, how every number has its own box? And both numbers for the units are in the same column here, and both numbers of the tens are in the same column, and they're in line with each other, aren't they? Yeah, can you see that? All right. The next thing I'm going to do is draw a line underneath, and I'm going to draw a line here. Now this box that I've just created here, this is going to be for my answer, okay? So the first thing I want us to look at is the units. So just imagine our tens and units column. This is our tens, this is our units. Okay, so we're going to focus on everything in our units column first of all, okay? So, our first sum is 4 add 5. 4 add 5, big number in our head, 5 in our head, 4 fingers. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you just write a 9 just below here, like this, okay? So the next column now we're moving over to our tens. So we've got 3 add 1. 3 add 1 is 4. So here we go, there's our answer. So 34 add 15 equals 49. And that's a much, much easier way to do it. Because if you can count to 10 and add up numbers to 10, then you can do any addition sum in the whole wide world. Okay? Now let's try one that's a little bit trickier. Okay? Let's try this one. Let's try 58 add 43. Draw our lines over the blue lines to create our box to fill it in. Now we're going to do exactly the same thing again. We're going to focus on this units column first when we add them up, okay? So our first sum, what do you think it's going to be? Say it out loud. Good, so it's 8 add 3. So big number in our head, 8, 3 fingers on our hands. 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because if we just write 11 over here like this, as you can see, it would go into our tens and our units column, wouldn't it? Which we don't want, because that's going to get in the way of our answer when we add our tens up later. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on this units first of the 11. And we're going to write that in our units column over here, okay? So there's our 1 from our units. But we've still got this 10 over here that we need to do something with. So in our tens column, on our addition sum, we're just going to write it underneath here to remind us that we've still got that 10 that we need to use up from the 11 of our units, okay? So let's do our next sum. We've done our units. We're going to move across to our tens column now. 5 add 4. 5 add 4 is 9. But then it's not 9, is it? We need to add our 10 over here. So 9 add 1 is 10. Now that's a 2-digit number, but it's okay because it's our last number. So we can just write 10 like this. So the answer of 58 add 43 is 101. Good? Right. Let's try the one that is the first question on lesson 4. So, number 1, let's try it. It's 328. So even though it's a 3-digit number now rather than a 2-digit number, we can still do exactly the same thing, 1 number per box. Now it's adding 48. What have I done wrong there? I've put the 40 in my what would be hundreds column, and I've put the units of my 8 in my tens column. So that's wrong, isn't it? So let's rub that out and put it in the right place. 328 add 48. Can you see my 40 is in my tens column, my 8 is in my units column. Okay, so let's add our add sign in and the lines to show there. Okay, so the first numbers we've got is 8 add 8. Can you see that? 8 add 8. I know double 8 is 16. But once again, look, 16. Now, we can't write 16 straight in because that's going to get in the way of our tens column. So we'll just write the units, which is 6. But that means we mustn't forget about this one over here, this 10 over here. So let's carry that 10 over to our tens column. Right, so now let's do the next one. 2 add 4 is 6. But add this 1 down here is 7. So we can add that in, like so. Now let's move over to our next column, to our hundreds column. What digits have we got in our hundreds column? We've only got a 3, haven't we? So it's 3 add nothing. 3 add nothing is 3. So our answer is 376. Easy? That's a super easy way to add big numbers together. Okay? Let's try one more. So let's try number 2, which would be 4, 5, 4, add 38. Once again, everything has got its own box. Everything's spaced out. The numbers of the units are lined up underneath each other. The tens are lined up underneath each other. The hundreds are lined up underneath each other. Draw my lines in, like this. Now I get going. I'm not going to tell you the answer for this one. I'm just going to show you the steps. So the first one would be 8 add 4. 8 add 4, whatever that is, write your units in. If you need to carry a 10 down, carry your 10 down. Then you're going to do 5 add 3, add however many 10s you've got at the bottom here. Write that number in, and then move across to your hundreds column. 4 add anything. If you've got any hundreds down here that you need to add, you'd add them up at this point, and then put your number in the hundreds column here. Okay? So, I want you to try and have a little go at this method. Don't worry if you find it a little bit tricky, because I'll be putting more column addition questions on for you for your work next week. Okay? Have a go. I miss you all and I can't wait to see you really soon. Alright, bye!